In the early hours of October 10, 2023, Israeli airstrikes lit the sky over Deir el-Balah. The al-Najjar family, whose name means carpenter in Arabic, had lived there for generations. That night, their home, once alive with children's laughter and daily family routines, was reduced to rubble. 2-month-old Zein al-Najjar was the youngest victim of the strike, his short life cut short alongside 18 of his relatives, including 5 children and 3 women. The surviving members of the al-Najjar family, who have endured decades of conflict, stood in silent shock as their home's remains were uncovered. Zein's name now joins the long, tragic list of Gaza's dead. According to Air Wars, the al-Najjar family is one of 3 with that name to lose 10 or more members to Israeli strikes this year. In total, 393 people with the name al-Najjar have been killed. Over the past year, Israel's military campaign in Gaza has claimed at least 41,909 lives, including 16,756 children, as per Gaza's government media office. These figures, confirmed by the Palestinian Health Ministry, reflect the relentless toll of a conflict that has buried thousands beneath the ruins of homes and hospitals. The names, ages, and memories of 34,344 victims have been documented so far, but many bodies still lie beneath the rubble. The al-Najjars are not alone in their grief. On October 26th, an Israeli airstrike killed 38 members of the al-Astals family in Khan Yunis, wiping out 3 generations in a single moment. Across Gaza, 902 families have been erased in the past year, entire bloodlines wiped out. Gaza has become more than a war zone. It is a graveyard. Families like the al-Masrys, al-Ashurs, and Hamdans have seen hundreds of their loved ones killed. Israel's airstrikes, launched under the banner of self-defense, have not only targeted militants, but the very fabric of Palestinian society. Prime Minister Netanyahu's government maintains these strikes are essential to eliminate militant threats, but the victims include 710 babies, 1,793 toddlers, and 1,205 preschool-aged children. The airstrike that destroyed Zein's home is just one of many that have claimed Gaza's youngest lives, children who have never known peace. The United Nations describes Gaza as a place where death is commonplace, and children grow up surrounded by the never-ending cycle of funerals. Over 17,000 children have lost one or both parents in the violence, while thousands more walk streets littered with the bodies of friends and family. Gaza's children live under an Israeli blockade that deprives them of even the most basic needs. Bomb shelters are their playgrounds, and the sound of approaching fighter jets signals the next tragedy. In a single day during the latest airstrikes, 46 children were killed. Netanyahu's forces have turned Gaza into a place where grief is constant, and there is no escape from Israeli missiles. Families like the Shaheens, Obeids, and Hijazis have nearly been wiped out, with their histories buried beneath the debris. The violence has left Gaza a haunted landscape. In the al-Garbi area where the al-Astals family once lived, nothing remains but rubble. Thousands of Palestinian families have been reduced to just 1 or 2 surviving members, their homes destroyed and their futures stolen. Gaza's hospitals are overwhelmed. In the latest bombardment, 266 people were injured. 1 out of every 23 in Gaza has been wounded. Among the wounded are children who will never walk again, mothers who will never hold their babies, and men who will never return home. Survivors speak of an unbearable new trauma, the loss of entire communities. On the global stage, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu defends these actions as necessary to protect Israeli civilians. Critics argue that the war's true aim is to devastate Gaza's population. The numbers are staggering, but they fail to capture the full horror. In the past month alone, 115 people have died for every 55 left alive in Gaza. The wounded rise by the hour, while over 5,480 displaced people have nowhere to go. Shelters are overflowing with both the living and the dead. As the war drags on, the human cost becomes unbearable. On every street is a story like Zein's, a child taken too soon, a family wiped out, and a world that watches but does not act. For Gaza, peace remains a distant dream. The sound of warplanes is constant, and beneath the rubble, the voices of the dead seem to grow louder every day. Since October 7th, the Gaza Health Ministry reports that at least 42,065 people have been killed and 97,886 wounded due to ongoing Israeli military attacks on the enclave. In the latest 24-hour reporting period, the ministry confirmed 55 additional deaths and 166 injuries among Palestinians. This surge in violence has not spared journalists, with over 175 media workers reportedly killed during the conflict, raising serious concerns about press safety in the region. 2 Al Jazeera cameramen are currently in critical condition after being shot by Israeli soldiers in northern Gaza this week. Fadi al-Wahidi, injured by a live round to the neck while covering the Israeli assault on the Jabalia refugee camp, and Ali al-Attar, who was shot while reporting on the plight of displaced Palestinians in central Deir el-Balah, are receiving urgent medical attention.